I don't think people realize about the sheer effect of the media and how it tends to brainwash people with different forms of propaganda. And one particular subject that I'm going to talk about, particularly, is the subject of African American people. Now, I'm more of an Australian American West African Aboriginal. And I did come to America years ago, but of course, I didn't like the whole hip hop culture, because I come from hard beginnings. But being an educated man or having an IQ that's above average, I tend to not like cultures or approaches that typically focus on things of a lower IQ predisposition, such is the case of a lot of African American culture. But since I realized, ever since going to college and getting to know a lot of black people and living here in Atlanta, Georgia, just the sheer rate of all the major success of so many black people, so many rich or well off blacks now. And you can see you have just as many ordinary subdivision, nice black neighborhoods as you do white now. It's not something that's rare, it's normal here. But one thing I noticed about the news media, like, I know for a fact that you have more black people who are graduating from college who are scoring far more high IQ tests than ever before. You have black people who own many businesses, so many rich, successful black people in this country. But yet, when you see on the media, they're sitting here focusing on individuals like George Floyd or Southside Chicago and just the lower common denominator of African American society. And it's like they won't propagate all the well educated, all the respectable blacks in the nice neighborhoods just like a normal thing. Like, the majority of a community can be a nice, stable neighborhood, but if they had even like a small area to where it's poor or to where it's crime, guess where the news media will focus on? That. And I somehow fault a lot of African American people, particularly hip hop, because they were the ones who propagated this whole idea of black people being prone to behaving a certain way or thinking a certain way, the whole ghetto culture. And now, the only time when they show a successful black person or whatnot is usually as an individual. They don't propagate, a whole community. And when in the media, when they show a successful black person, they'll show some, I don't know, hip hop moron or someone like Floyd Mayweather Jr. who's flaunting money and, just kind of being a goon. They're like, these guys are embarrassments. I mean, can you imagine having the lowest of the low of your society representing you and your people? Like, when you look at a particular sports team or any company, do they put the worst and the lowest of the players to represent the team? Or do they put the best and the most charismatic and skillful player to represent the team? You understand? When you represent something, you tend to be the top tier, not the lowest of the low. And there's one thing I've noticed about a lot of these white supremacists. They talk about white supremacy, but yet a lot of them were in bed white trash. They're negative people. They're not the respectable tier of white society. They're the lowest of the low. In Hitler's Nazi Germany, he did not have the lowest of the low Germans being in the SS or representing them. You had to have some prestige. So how could you be some Peckerwood and say that, oh, I'm white, I'm superior? You are the lowest of the low. You are an embarrassment to your people. And it's the same about this whole news media when they demonstrate African Americans. You know, when the whole George Floyd thing going on, they were simply propagating this whole idea, oh, blacks are still under oppression, and they had all these movie stars apologizing about racism. And you can see the whole George Floyd situation was not a racist incident. Police brutality, but not a race incident. I mean, the shit got blown out of proportion. And I'm sorry what happened to that man, but George Floyd would definitely not be the type of individual that I would go and march for. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out.